All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Limitless Crypto. My name is Lorenzo Corrado. I'm here to help you out in the cryptocurrency market on a day-to-day basis here. Markets go up, markets go down, and as traders, we are always benefiting from what's happening right here. I hope you guys had a good day today. We have some action and a lot of important things to discuss here. In this video, I'm going to make sure I'm going to provide you with the best trading opportunities once again. And in this case, we might have a solution for this current event here. We have seen a major flash crash right now, dropping around 10%. And let me guide you through everything that's happened here. And most importantly, what truly happened over the last couple of hours, okay? Let's get to it here. Quick shout out to everyone in the chat supporting us on a day-to-day basis here. We have a new channel right now. We just started out. We already have a fantastic big community here. We're heading towards the crypto side of things here. So make sure that if you're watching and if you're new right now, this is truly where we make magic happen. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and press that like button here. A big shout out to Martina. Welcome back once again. Great to have you here. Happy New Year. Marton, Bart Simpson, my man. Absolute fantastic to see you as well. Johnny, be good. Jackie and Rusher, Gavin Dentist, the core fam is back. Vicky, Skinny D, Euros, Gavin Dentist says the Kramer effect. We're going to talk about Dr. Kramer, all right? What has actually happened here right now? What caused the Bitcoin price to dump so much? And what is truly actually happening behind the scenes here? Very interesting stuff here. Cowboy, great to have you here. And Damien, absolute pleasure. Okay, let's dive straight away into the Bitcoin price here. We're currently sitting around 42,450. We came down roughly around 10%, all the way towards, of course, the lows of that previous range here. Okay, very important. If you look at the overall market today, most of them, of course, got absolutely destroyed in the very short term here. 15%, 8%, you name it. We are coming down at this particular moment here. Okay, if you still look at the monthly though, we are still up significantly. So is there truly something to worry about? Or are we keeping our head cool as traders and benefiting from the volatility? That's the true question we have right here, right now, right here on this channel. Okay, number one, the first thing that happened, of course, is a mass liquidation event here, okay? We have been liquidating around $650 million in long liquidations, okay? 187,815 traders were liquidated. The total liquidations come in at over 600 million, and the largest single liquidation order happened on Huobi with a value of $14 million. Okay, craziness. If you're new to crypto, this is all part of the game. This is how the game works. It happens, it comes, it goes, and they always find reasons for price to crash here. Okay, one reason is, and this is actually kind of an ironic one, that is Mr. Jim Cramer, okay? He is absolutely a legend. He's the ultimate crypto or Bitcoin degen you could ever think of. This guy has an accuracy of 95% guessing the wrong outcome, okay? 95%. Of course, this is on mainstream media. This is on the CNBC here. Let's go over and listen to what he said real quick, because it is kind of ironic, all right?
Yeah. But I do think that the people who are in it for that are going to use that as a chance to sell. But this thing is, you can't kill it.
No, can't.
And the late Charlie Munger, who was so brilliant on so many things, was blind to this. Now you could say, wait a second, maybe it's all going to come
Jamie
unravel.
Dimon has not spared any negative words.
No, but look, I mean, it's a reality and it's a technological marvel, and I think people have to start recognizing that it's here to stay. The SEC's been against it almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that every one of these is here to stay, but I do think that it's about, this is a remarkable comeback that was unexpected, except for all the bulls who have turned out to be right.
Gensler does a lot of job.
We call him the inverse Dr. Kramer candlestick formation, okay? The negative correlation we have been waiting for right here. And that is that yesterday, of course, on the CNBC, it was extremely bullish. And a day later, obviously, we saw this flash crash occurring. Okay, if you go back to the previous historical data here, we have a couple of examples. For example, he said, sold all my Bitcoin to buy a farm. Still have some Ethereum, which gained. This was all the way back at the aggressive lows, talking about the $19,000 here. The last one he said was, Kramer says, avoid all speculative investments like crypto, as the Fed says. Also, when Bitcoin was under $20,000, and obviously when he was extremely bullish about it, we practically reached the top here. Okay, he has done this multiple times, already occurring also in the stock market, traditional markets, and so on and so on. This is all completely normal. But what truly happened here? Okay, well, they're stating obviously that the SEC spot BlackRock ETF potentially get delayed here, and because of that delay, you know, apparently people were selling their Bitcoin right here. What I think truly happened here was something that we have been talking about yesterday already, okay? And that is, of course, the funding rate. We've been talking about it yesterday here, and listen to what I said yesterday, pretty much on stream, 20 minutes in here. Let's give it a little go and see what we can do from there. Sometimes this needs to reset itself. Usually what tends to happen, if we truly are over leveraged, we're going to experience some sort of flash crash where you see suddenly a 10% dump, quickly getting but up again, but at least resetting these funding rates. So that could happen, okay? Therefore, your risk management is absolutely key. Your stop losses should always be there. And without further ado, I don't think that should be really an issue. That should be really an issue, okay? 10% crash is what we have seen today. A day after right here, obviously this happened here. Regardless, I'm not going to sit here and wait for price to come down and wait for it so magically time that flash crash right here. What I'm going to do is when I'm entering here, I'm just going to be a little bit more careful, okay? When the funding rates are high, I'm just a little bit more cautious. I'm a little bit tighter with my stop losses. And it is exactly what we have been doing here. Okay, these were all the setups from yesterday. Okay, we talked about this here. This was before the crash. We talked about all our setups that we trade on a day-to-day basis here on stream. You guys know that what we're doing here on stream is that we're trying to get winning trades together as a community. I stream every single day. I'll make sure that these setups are prepared. And then in the section here in our Discord, I have a YouTube setups section where I then deploy all the results of all the setups that we talked about here. So you can actually see what has actually happened. So based upon that here, we have, or we were actually looking very, very solid here. Dogecoin, up 3R, Solana, up R, TP1, stop loss on break even. Most of our trades were already set on break even the moment we hit our first internal break or TP point right there. Okay, that's the game. And that's just what we're doing here. Now looking at the actual flash crash right now, same thing as what the Wolf was reset here. Do you want to know why the Bitcoin market dumped? Because the open interest was mooning with historical high funding rates. To be long, 66% analyzed. Yesterday, we saw $500 million liquidations. 95% of them were longs in under an hour. Degens are going to degen. Also, plan B, beautiful executed stop loss hunting. Must kill leveraged longs before the actual ETF pump. I'm actually happy that we are coming down right now, rather now than later when the actual spot ETF gets improved here. So this is only better that it happened slightly before her. But we're going to talk about the best possible setups right now in a second here because there are a bunch of beautiful, beautiful opportunities here. So stick around. Make sure you smash up that like button here because we are going to continue our trading journey regardless of what we're currently are seeing here. So at this particular moment, the funding rates look much healthier, okay? This was an absolute necessity here. You see already that now there is kind of an equal layer between the amount of shorts in the market and the amount of longs in the market, whereas before we were extremely over leveraged here. So the reset was, in my opinion, an absolute necessity here, okay? Looking at the liquidation heat map, of course, we smashed through all of these levels. We have still a bunch of liquidity now built up, of course, above the $46,000 here, but I would not say here that to get right now too bullish right here, to buy the dip and to immediately start thinking about longs. We wait for further confirmation and the confirmation is not there yet, but I'm going to talk about all of that in a second here, okay? Do not worry, this is truly a normal thing, okay? So again, the ETF spot ETF, they can say whatever they want to say at any given moment, talking about a rejection. Then next week, it's suddenly approved. And then the next week after, it was false information or whatever the case may be here. So again, focus on the structure, understand the actual historical data and the real-time data. And based upon that, you can make significant positive conclusions here. Okay, there we go. When the rates get so high, the news magically appears. That's actually a great point right there. Every single time when the actual, inflation, or sorry, the funding rates get extremely high, when all the indicators show that we're extremely overbought here and we're seeing a crash, what people want to see is they want to see and understand a reason why. So people are looking for reasons why a crash occurs. While you could also just simply think maybe we had just a significant amount of long liquidations set up below. Too much liquidity, over around $1 billion here, or roughly around $1 billion here. So who cares? That's more important to take out first. That's just the reality of trading here. So don't worry, Bitcoin is not going to go all the way down here for now, at least. Okay, we're looking level by level and step by step. And that's the way we take full advantage of the market. Now, let's go a little bit to the Bitcoin chart here again. Okay, so again, we got rejected at the monthly resistance at 45,581 here after that drop here. So again, we could not break above it. Okay, we tried to break above it here with the previous yearly high as a potential target. We also had the monthly resistance right here. And what we're talking about specifically are these two body closures that we can find right here. These two body closures at around the 1st of March 2022 and the 1st of April. That caused obviously to be a major area of resistance as well here. So you could not break above it. And you could see clearly that right at the monthly resistance, we failed to break above. Okay, so again, at this particular moment, it was an interesting moment here. We saw Bitcoin coming up before that major sell-off right here, as you can see right now at the moment here. So this particular moment, the why is this actually in many ways a good thing. Of course, it's never fun when people get liquidated. But again, we're also not here to sit and expect that not to happen, right? We understand that it's always player versus player. It's somebody is long against somebody that's short, and that's the game we're playing here. We're playing the big boys game, okay? The volatility index is absolutely at a significant high right now, okay? This is important to mention. The reason why is because usually you are not coming higher than around the 7.27 here. We're almost getting there. So that means that from that moment we reach that high, we might be able to, come down a little bit, and therefore the crazy volatility tends to decrease. Okay, so until that moment has occurred here, I think we could still see some nice volume being in the markets at this particular moment. Now, when actually going to this chart here on Bitcoin and we're looking at the current volume of Bitcoin, okay, we just saw a simple, super aggressive volume stick right here, sitting around the 6 or 7 a.m. Mark exactly. Okay, but after that directly, we literally came down here, and that's typically how flash crashes are and work. They come down extremely aggressive in this case. To be honest, rarely, based upon my previous experience in the markets, I see rarely that the price is directly coming up again and that we're just going to flip bullish from now, okay? So that's what I'm saying here when looking at the markets and looking at the charts here. We are now actually taking out the lows here. So for now, I think it's much more reasonable to still look for short continuations, because what tends to happen is that people, go long. They try to, perfectly time the bottom, but it's very, very hard to time the bottom in these type of situations, especially when there is not much structure and when everything before has been already taken out here, okay, especially in regards to liquidations and everything that occurs here. So again, when looking at this beautiful range here, I do not see nothing more than a nice area of consolidation for now, an expansion, and a potential retracement here. So if we draw the Fibonacci from the swing low to swing high point, okay, the first layer of resistance already is going to be at the $43,000, which is going to be the equilibrium right here. So if we are coming up, which I think is a potential scenario, and we are truly getting towards that that level in the next couple of hours or whatever, and we fail to break through, or we fail to break and close an hourly candle above it, then we might be already getting rejected to come down a little bit further. And the reason why is because usually what tends to happen here is that you start building new liquidity to the upside before you actually come up here. You might come up, get rejected, you start building that liquidity, you then have some sort of wick fill, okay, because that wick where aggressive buyers are entering the market with extremely high leverage, thinking they're getting the bottom here. Usually what tends to happen is that you come down first to then at least liquidate the people that are extremely aggressive in these 100x long positions here. Therefore, I think there is definitely a chance that we have or experience some sort of wick fill. And if that happens with Bitcoin, obviously you could see the altcoins following up with that as well here. There are two scenarios how you can always benefit from a flash crash. Scenario number one is the following, okay? If you look here simply at Solana and you go to this 3-hour chart and you look at this particular low, this was the last low before we start taking out serious highs right here, okay? This is where we're now heading in, okay? We typed and we came perfectly into the 70.5, 79% Fibonacci here. If you look at that swing long to swing high momentum here, and usually what tends to happen is that you come up super aggressively right here. Look at that incredible demand that's right away came into the Solana chart here. We're talking about a 20% move to the upside here. So what do I mean with that 20% move to the upside? Well, this is usually what tends to happen. So this could be a simple trick to take consideration. And I've applied this a lot in the previous runs here. I didn't do it this time. And the reason was because purely, I was still seeing and waiting, how much money and how much volume is truly in the market right now. But this proved that we're seeing some significant, volatility happening at this particular moment, that the volume is actually there, and that retail is slowly but steadily getting more and more interested in joining the ride here. Otherwise, a crash of around, super aggressive crash, by the way, of around 25% of Solana, is not that realistic here. So this case, it was realistic, and we came up right away with around 20%. So the trick here could be that, and this is the following here, because we talked about funding rates as well in our Discord, and we said the following, okay? We said that if funding rates in general, and we have to go to the funding rates here real quick to look at what I want to show you here, guys. Okay, if you see the actual funding rates being above, let's say 0.05, 0.08, sometimes even a 0.1, okay, that is so significant that at some point you could start thinking about, you know what? If a flash crash occurs here, let me just simply now look at these last swing points in the market. This is the swing low and this is the swing high. Let's draw a Fibonacci from the lows to the highs, and let's try to set some limit orders around the 70.5, 79%. And who knows, maybe that will then potentially at some point get filled, and therefore, we could see an opportunity. So for example, where you think that your limits would never get filled, whenever the funding rates are high and you see a flash crash occurring, then usually it could benefit you significantly because you could instantly make some money here. The problem though, however, is with a lot of individuals that buy here, they think that we're now just gonna come up, and it's very hard for these guys to close their positions because they're, thinking that there is much more upside. It's very hard to make the decision for you to say, okay, this is now just simply where I'm gonna start taking profit. So the idea is that if you enter a long order right or a limit order based upon the golden zone here between the 70.5 and the 79%, okay, then you could start thinking about for sure taking some profits, and most likely in 99% of the cases close your positions with around 80% here. Okay, that is just an example. All right, we also have seen this with Cardano. It's the same exact thing here. If you go to the last point in the market, you could see clearly that from this particular low, okay, we also came back towards the 70.5% right here, and we tapped into that major zone. We tapped into it perfectly, and from that moment, boom, you saw clearly that we bounced off as well, gaining right away another 17% or so. Okay, however, at this particular moment, we are right now right here, okay? Consolidation, expansion, retracement. This is where we're going to find major resistance right now on many pairs. We're talking about Solana, okay? We're talking about AVAX, as well. Right here, we're talking about Cardano. We probably will talk about much more, but let's use and start out with the major caps first here, because I truly believe that with that wick fill and that humongous amount of liquidity that's still below, that if you come up towards the value area high or the point of control or anything in that manner, I do believe that from there you can start thinking about really start looking for one more push down towards the downside. This could be one of the safer trades in my opinion right here when looking at the Cardano chart. Same thing counts for Solana right here, okay? This provides us obviously with a lot of information. So we now have a beautiful range. We use this beautiful tool, which we call the fixed range volume profile. And the fixed range volume profile is one of these ranges that is extremely important, okay? And especially after a major move and a major expansion, you now have these hidden levels that we can talk about here in a second here. So again, you draw it from the left to the right side of the range. You see these gaps. So number one is the lower range. This is the value area low right here, okay? Then we have the point of control. This is the area where the most volume has been traded in that whole range. That's that red line right here. And you see clearly that, of course, obviously, that was the exact level where we start coming down from. Then we have the value area high. In this case, when you see a consolidation and you break down, the value area low and the point of control is usually what matters the most, okay? So what are we going to wait for? We're going to wait for price to push back a little bit further, all right, to gain back the confidence a little bit in the market here. And then once we are coming and heading towards the 103 for Solana, that's usually where we're going to look for these type of short opportunities to then look again for a further continuation down one more time here. Because again, if you actually think about the effect that this news could have on the guys that are not traders, that have no understanding of historical data or real-time data and don't know how to utilize it, they just simply hear, maybe it doesn't get approved, so maybe I need to stay out of the market for a while here. So again, I do not think that this magically just right now will come up aggressively here. I think that shorting is for us still the better way to look for opportunities in the market right now until we get proven otherwise, okay? And when are we getting proven otherwise? Well, let's take it back to, for example, AVAX or just the Bitcoin chart right now, right here, okay? Number one, all right, pull back towards the highs and then a continuation down. That's one layer, okay? Another layer is coming back to the 50% and getting rejected. Is another layer here, okay? What will prove to us that we might be flipping bullish here? Well, if you go to Solana, for example, and you start coming above the point of control and you flip the point of control into support, then we might be able like, hey, we are now above a significant level, the level where the most volume has been traded, where the most confluences are coming together here. So we might be then bouncing and continuing to the upside again. So anything below, in my opinion, is looking for shorts, looking for a further continuation down here, which is still completely healthy and completely normal. But most importantly, that wick fill is where we're aiming for, okay? That wick fill is full of new, fresh liquidity with a lot of guys that are extremely aggressive and extremely cocky and confident right now. We have to get rejected, come down, and then look for further continuation. After that, if we come down, we can start looking for longs again. But again, these are the scenarios. So either a rejection and a continuation to the downside, which caused a consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation, or an expansion, breakthrough moment, invalidation, and a continuation back towards the upside one more time here, okay? That's what we're looking for on Solana. That's what we're looking for in AVAX. AVAX is already almost there, so it could get interesting already in the next couple of minutes. One more time, we're gonna add this to the list, to our new watch list right here we have created, and we are gonna post this, of course, in our Discord for all the updates that you can see right here. You can literally join our Discord, okay? Two things you need for 24. Number one, obviously you just need the right community, okay? That's just what we're doing here. That's what we have been building over the last couple of months already. We have been building the right community and the right structures, okay? Then you need the right place to trade. Well, we have YouTube, we have our Signal channel, we have everything already internally in our Discord as well set up for you so you can actually start trading with us, analyzing with us, and, while constantly being updated about the sentiment, about what I think will happen, and also most likely what our team thinks will happen right here, okay? I personally trade on Bitget. I personally love it here. less scam wicks, not too much FUD about it, and the biggest reserve in regards to the financial reserve. If you look at Binance, they have the biggest, then Bitget is actually number 2, but Bitget is much smaller, of course, than Binance. So in that case, it's actually extremely useful. Okay, so if you go here to my YouTube channel right now, you click on this link right here, and you come towards the Bitget link here, you can actually, my exclusive link right now in the description, sign up, and this is what you get. Okay, you get an $8,000 deposit bonus. That's number 1. Okay. Then you can get access to our community, which is our VIP community. If you deposit $100, you will get daily signals from Tim. Okay, he has been really crushing it right now. You can see that his trade journal up so far is around 17%. We're just in it for around 2 days here. Everything is tracked. Very important as well. You get my $500 cryptocurrency course for free. Okay, $500 cryptocurrency course for free, which I created here to explain exactly how I look at all the data in order for you to understand the sentiment. Because if you understand the sentiment of the market, you will have an edge over most individual traders in the community, okay? All absolutely for free. And if you sign up with my link, this is what you get there. So what you need to do is simply click on this link one more time here in the YouTube section. Go to our Bitget link right here. Sign up through this account here. Then you get your UID right here that you can find. And you fill that UID right here on our Discord. And that's it. You deposit $100 and you use that money, of course, to trade with Tim's signals right there. Get access right there. That's what we're looking for, okay? This is how you will be granted to my VIP crypto trading community for absolutely free for lifetime, all right? This is the biggest benefit of using my Bitget link. You get insane value for signing up with my link. And if you already have an exchange, I suggest to make a Bitcoin account, since this is what we use in the community and where trader Tim actually is giving his signals as well. So he can get exactly the same entries on these specific signals right here, okay? So if you have a Bitget account, then sign up with Bybit or Maxi. It does not really matter. We personally use Bitget though. I highly recommend you to use this one right here. Okay, so when you sign up, you will getting all kinds of bonuses, which is insane, including a deposit bonus for just signing up with my link. It literally takes you 2 minutes to do. So enough, let's get started with our overall analysis here. And let's make sure we are, filling up our watch list right now with new trading setups that we can actually discuss in our Discord, as well as, see how these ones literally played out right here. Okay, looking forward to do so. Number 1, Solana. Really look at the 103.1425. Very important. Okay. Secondary, look at AVAX at $37.49. So again, the moment you get there, you should be able to set an alert here. So highly recommend you to use this level, 37.490, create an alert. Once it gets there, trust me, wait for further confirmation in the lower time frame, and we might be entering a beautiful short position. This could be the point of control, but obviously we will keep you updated for further notice regardless, okay? Cardano, same thing, 75 cents, 75.6 cents right here. Wait for the price to push up a little bit further, and then potentially we could start flipping and turning around here, which happens over and over again, coming down eventually for that wick here. Getting too excited about a strong recovery, and then still pushing price further down, because of course, obviously we all know that there was an intention behind this FUD. That's all it is. It's just FUD. Okay, but again, we also need to think about the effect and the conclusion that it will actually have over the next coming days, which should be extremely realistic. Now, the last thing before I want to actually go with you guys and go over a bunch of charts and setups here is by looking at the Tether dominance. Okay, this is definitely not something that you should worry about right now. If the Tether dominance goes up, usually the Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin tends to come down, and so does many of these altcoins right here. So of course, on the 50-minute, this is when the crash occurred. Okay, so simple. You see this right here at 7, massive expansion to the upside. The Bitcoin dominance was already setting up, and the moment it broke out here, that was a confirmation that we created officially, a higher high, higher low, and then higher high. Okay, I talk about this already many times here on stream. Higher high, higher low, higher high. That could be a factor where we should start flipping and turning around here. Okay, so you can see it coming. This is what we saw, of course, on the Bitcoin chart right now here. So what's next for the Tether dominance? Well, if you look here simply at this chart here, okay, on the daily time frame, you are still getting rejected overall at this particular range right now, at this particular moment. But it's all about how we close this daily candle in around 8 hours for now. For now, at least, we are still indeed getting pushed down. But the next support, and this is important to mention here, and this is where we can talk about potentially, you know, the trading setups we're talking about here, Solana, AVAX, and so on and so on. We're also using extra confirmations, okay? And if you go to AVAX and price pushes up here, or Solana, for example, price pushes to the 103.1425, and you get rejected here, the Tether dominance will most likely be here at 5.74%. Which is a major area of support right now as well here. So if you go and you see that this 40-minute candle now closes above it, okay? We have 14 minutes left, but if you close above it here, then you can see that this is a major area of support. This is a major area of support, or resistance, support, support. Okay, this could flip one more time into support, and if you then shoot up again, then price will come down again, okay? Usually what tends to happen is that the Tether dominance goes up, more people are buying Tether, and they buy Tether usually, of course, with their cryptocurrencies. Okay, the question then will be, are they buying or selling their altcoins, or are they selling their Bitcoin? Well, in this case here, the Bitcoin dominance is neutral. It's still below here. It's not looking that fantastically strong here. So Bitcoin is definitely a major factor. But overall, I think that the altcoins could definitely still suffer from, you know, the Tether dominance bouncing up strong here. Okay, so that's a Cardano. Let's add Cardano to the list. Let's clean it up for now. Okay, let's add Cardano to the list. In regards to all the setups from yesterday, obviously most of them were invalidated after taking profits. Okay, Dogecoin was up at 3R. Solana was up a nice 2R. Dogecoin was actually coming up a little bit further. Bonk was doing well. Kaspa was stopped out. Stop loss hit. Okay, also part of the game. Rose came into profits and then flipped bearish. So that was a break-even trade. And then, of course, the Tether dominance was at that moment still getting rejected right here. So that's why we were just taking profits and not closing our positions in full. But again, with these funding rates, of course, like I said before here, we just make sure we always practice a very solid risk management, okay? Absolutely key, especially right now. So, Solana, AVAX, and Cardano. Let's go over a couple of guys in the chat here. And let's see what we have, okay? Let me see what we can find right now. What do you guys want to see, fam? What are the levels to look at? Give me some updates. And again, make sure you smash up the like button. We are a fresh new channel. And we're here to blow this shit up here. As always, we're already at 50 likes in around 30 minutes. It's absolutely insane. So I truly appreciate your support. And thank you for being here once again in our beautiful community. So let's see if the chat can help us out with some setups as well. What do you guys want to see, fam? Come on, we have 69 people watching here. AVAX is definitely on our radar. Another one I'm personally looking for is Matic. Like you talked about yesterday, right? We said that Matic was actually not looking that particularly strong. We were waiting for Matic to come down a little bit, and that is exactly what has happened right now. So Matic is definitely something right now I'm interested in as well here when we're pushing back towards the 88 cents. Okay, so Matic, 88 cents. If we push back here, I'm going to set an alert here for Matic. If we get to the 88 cents, I'm going to see on the lower time frame if shorting opportunities are occurring. Okay, the way I'm going to do that is by first looking at the macro levels here. Okay, wait for price to pull back up and then actually get rejected to the downside right now here. Camera is off here for a second. Don't worry, we will be back up in no time. So that's a Matic double or an M formation followed by a rejection once again. The 88 cents is where I'm going to potentially look for, you know, another leg up here. Otherwise, it's going to be the 93. But the confirmation will lay in that breakdown after the M formation. So it's an M formation on the lower time frame, followed, of course, by a breakdown. Okay, that could lead in a continuation for a potential gap fill right here. So one more time. M formation, breakdown, and then entry, stop loss above the previous high, target the wick fill right there. Okay, Matic is definitely one of these setups that I'm personally looking for. Okay, anything else? As Lamy says, render. Let's go to render, my friend. Let's go to render. We have added right now Cardano. We're gonna add a Matic to the scale. We're gonna add Solana to the scale right here, and we're going to add AVAX. Where's AVAX as well? Very importantly, don't forget AVAX to the scale as well, because we're already almost there at that level we're waiting for. Okay, the 37.490 to look for new short opportunities here. So, Lamai says render. Let's go over render indeed. Render, wow, look at the render, man. Wow. Okay, 25%, 30% gain. Okay, let me use this low, let me use this high here. Okay, we came in towards this this range. This is probably the point of control, guys. This is probably the point of control here. Let me see what we have. This is the whole big range here. We came very close to the point of control indeed. Very, very close here of this range. Okay, 15 minute coming up very, very strong right now. Fantastic. You know, this is where people get extremely confident right now, thinking that, you know, we're going to go up from here very strong here. But don't forget that massive wick is dangerous here. Okay, so number one, the value area low. Okay, value area low is a reaction. We came up already, and you see that rejection right here. Okay, just to show you what I mean here. Okay, you already see that first touch, and immediately you saw price pushing back. So if this happens on, you know, the other charts here, such as Matic or Cardano right here, or Solana, and so on and so on, then, you know, you will most likely see potentially, you know, a reaction similar to this reaction right here. We're talking about a reaction followed by an immediate 3% gain here, or loss, pullback to the downside. So again, first level to look at one more time, okay, is 4.5166 for render. That's one level I'm looking for. The other one is a little bit higher, which is the point of control, which is actually a little bit more interesting right now due to the fact that we have seen this first touch already. Okay, we have measured this whole range right here. You could also think about this range right there if you want to, but I personally believe that this bigger range is what matters, because we are still below that previous resistance right now. We're just trying to break above here, but the closure is what matters here. So we have around around 1 hour or 7 minutes left for the hourly closure here. And again, look at this hourly candle. This hourly candle has no bottom wick. No bottom wick, okay? So that is not a good sign in many ways. Usually we need to see some sort of double wick confirmation to truly make it believable, or at least a little bit more believable. Okay, there we go. Let's see how this goes. Very importantly, Cardano is coming in the radar. I just want to quickly go back to the Tether dominance, because that's absolutely necessity for us that we close a buffer. Okay, so 6 minutes left. We're going to start pushing down a little bit. I think that's going to be a big reason. So we might be able to see price pumping a little bit on some of these setups right now we're just talking about here, okay? Just because the Tether dominance is trying to push down right now before the close. So it's very important to see where we're going to close, and if we're going to close above the 5.74%, because if you do close above it, then that could be a confirmation here. So 6 more minutes left. In the meantime, let's look at near here. Render, we have set an alert at the value area low one more time, but most importantly, I think that the point of control is where I want to look for a scenario. Okay, really strong bot up, but again, to enter now after a again, you know, 25-30% move, just be careful. Okay, be very careful if you are looking at longs right now, in my opinion here. Okay, Lorenzo, is TRB in a buy zone soon? Yeah, we talked about TRB. Probably we have been crashing towards it. We actually did not even came down that much. Okay, and the reason why is because these insiders, all Fugazi, we came down around 78%. We saw that massive crash happening before. We are now indeed still there, still hanging around here. We are now just coming back towards this range. And, you know, this is a little bit of a different story. And the reason why is just simple because of the fact that we already dropped around 80% a day before. Okay, one of the only setups that or charts that did that. There was like a major crash happening here. Apparently people could not even short it. Very interesting. But again, That's crypto. Now, when you're looking here, okay, it's not that I'm just going to think about buying, okay? What I think about more is the fact that, you know, I'm just going to be patient. I'm not going to short it. I'm not going to long it. I think that we are already way too down in general to look for further continuation to the downside. And at the same time, you know, we are coming back to that setup here. But if there is that not much, you know, volume in regards to longs and the sentiment is not that fantastic here, then longing here and trying to catch a long is also not my favorite, you know, at this particular month with the RB. So I'm gonna stay on the sidelines with this one and just see where this can eventually take us. But I am definitely gonna be keep a close eye on it here right now at this particular moment. Okay, Bitcoin is pushing up. Next up is 43k. Okay, that's what we're waiting for. 43. You could say the 43,500 maybe. Okay, which is gonna be more leaning towards the 618. But again, the first layer of resistance is gonna be at the 43,100. Okay, so let's see how it goes here. We have 4 more minutes left till the hourly close. So obviously the volume now is gonna increase again. Okay, just 5 minutes before the hourly closure, the volume tends to increase, especially after a crash like this here. So Tether dominant, man. Wow. Let's see where we're gonna close here, because that's gonna be tricky. That is truly a very important level to look at, the 5.75%, because if you close above it here, yeah, then they have closed a 4-hour candle above previous resistance, turning it into support, and that could then lead more into alongside liquidations as well once again. Okay, and we're talking about that short-term liquidity that has been built up right now at this particular moment. Now, what is important to mention here is that, one more time, the invalidation lays as follows. Okay, I just want to highlight this one more time here. If we come above the point of control, this is where I start to become bullish again. Okay, so that means we push down, we turn that point of control from resistance into support, then I'm much more confident about entering a long position. You could say, yeah, but the price is higher. Why? That's not a smart idea. Well, at least you have your confirmation bias here. Now you're in literally no man's land, okay? Especially for long-short. Now it's all about just guessing the bottom and expecting that it's the bottom here. If you are an investor, fantastic. Then you can always buy the dip. But then, obviously, if you would have bought lower, you had to see this limit order set a little bit lower just in case price came down here. You know, now you already have gained around a 25% almost instantly, okay? So that could lead into that continuation. Everything until then, in my opinion, is going to be still the opposite direction, which could lead in towards you know, further continuation of a wick fill. So gotta be in here. Vicky says news just came in, something about SEC meetings happening with exchanges today. Okay, let's keep a close eye on this here. Vicky, if you can share me the link, that would be absolutely amazing. Where can I find this? That would be interesting right here. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Now, a couple more chart setups that we'll look at. Olive says, what about Agi? Okay. Bartim says Arbitrum. Okay, let's go to Arbitrum first. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we turned that into... okay, we came back to that zone. Previous resistance turning it into support. We came back perfectly actually in that zone, and we immediately got bought up from there. Okay, major resistance right now. You're gonna be at resistance right now. Okay, 187 or 188. This is where the resistance is at. This is the previous low right here. Okay, this is that high that we created, and after that high we created a stronger lower low. So now this is the low that could provide us internally with that resistance right around the 1.88. So we're already actually now in a level where we can pay very close attention here, and we have around 17 seconds left for the hourly closure. And then the hourly closure here, we will see how this will add on here. Tricky for the Tether dominance right now. 5 seconds left. We're pushing down. We closed right at resistance right here. Man, that's right at that level. Could it be more perfect? It couldn't be more perfect here. Okay. Bitcoin, below the 50% right now. Let's see how we open this hourly candle. Okay, we open bearish. Okay, so we still could flip bullish here. So this is actually good in the short term. Okay, yes, price is coming down, but this could actually flip in no time. Bullish one more time here, maybe at the 42,830. Okay, so just to clarify, if you come down here, then we find some new support right there. The Tether dominance is holding above though, holding above the 4-hour support. If Tether dominance shoots up, then the market will potentially start coming down here. Arbitrum is right now right there, man. It's very, very interesting to see what's happening currently. Let's see. Okay, 1 hour chart here. Arbitrum at resistance. Let's see if we can flip this. There we go. Okay. Let's see a couple more. We need a couple more charts here right now. We have Solana. Okay. We have Cardano. And we have Matic. We have AVAX, of course. We looked at all these charts already. Okay, we have AVAX as well. Don't forget AVAX. We are already almost at the value area low right now of that range right here. Okay, we got rejected there previously already. The question right now is, are we going to get there in a second here? Gonta says, Lorenzo, the volatility index. Yeah, we have been looking at the volatility index at the beginning a little bit here. I'll probably go back to the volatility index in a second here to see if it's coming down a little bit. I do expect it to push us a little bit further down. Okay. Tether dominance flip bearish, so Bitcoin should be flipping bullish. There we go. Okay. We were waiting for that moment. All right. We came down and we opened bearish. Then usually you see it flipping bullish. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting some sort of recovery right now here. Let's see. Ravi says the SEC is holding meetings today with the exchanges, Nasdaq, CBOE, New York Stock Exchange to finalize comments on the 19B4 submitted by Bitcoin spot ETF issues here. A lot of news, a lot of fun, a lot of mixed signals right now. Okay. Marcy says Rune. Let's look at Rune Martel. Okay. We're just going to highlight these levels. We have set our alerts already. If our alerts go off, boom, we get a notification. And we know exactly what to do from there. Okay. Rune. What was the dip? This was a 20% move. Look at this level. Serious level to look at. Right here. 5.489. One more time. So this is the high. The low, sorry. This created a higher high. This high immediately broke this particular low. So the first, layer of resistance, especially after this particular low here, and then immediately buy towards the upside here is, of course, the first layer of resistance, which is now, or was previous support turning into resistance. You can see here, it was support, it was resistance, support, resistance right here. Okay, now waiting for that turnaround here. So we are already at a very interesting spot. There we go. Bitcoin pushing up. All right, there we go for 42.5 right now, heading towards the 618. Volatility absolutely nuts. Let's go to the volatility index. I do think it's important here. My camera will be up fixed in a second. There we go. Yeah, okay, we're still pushing. We're not really coming down here with the volatility. We are still holding up strong. Okay, if you start coming down, then you start maybe seeing some sort of pullback. For now, Now, the volatility is absolutely insane. On average, we are still looking extremely aggressive right now. Okay, what is happening with the open interest? I think this is also important to mention. Obviously, the longs right now are, starting to come up a little bit here, as you can see. But we are already starting to slow down a little bit as well here with the longs. While the shorters, okay, are also shooting up at the same time here. So where they're now coming down, obviously, because early shorters get liquidated right now, the longers at this particular moment are also coming down a little bit here. So this is a fantastic chart to look at right here, especially in moments like these when the volatility is absolutely nuts, because this can show you, some key levels, some key examples, especially when looking at, the following. If you start breaking down here, then, it might be that the longs are getting less interested in longing from these particular levels here. So less longs could mean, price pushing back further down. If the shorters at least start to catch up and increase as well, especially if the confidence is there, it gets very, very interesting. So again, Rune is right now there on the 5 minute. You can see it already. Let's take it to the lower time frame. Okay. So what are we going to do? What are we going to wait for? I'm simply going to wait for the following, okay? Wait for a nice pullback, higher high, lower low, higher low, lower high, M formation, taken out, all that sell side that we now have been building on the lower time frame. Okay, this is one of these levels that I'm looking at for Rune here. Okay, simple trend line, stop losses are below, right now built up. And the people that were too greedy, not taking profits, thinking now that we're going to go to the moon, usually we tend to disappoint these individuals here. Most of the time, all right? It's always a probability. We're never certain here. But what we're doing here is playing probabilities, at least in our favor. And therefore, we've seen many times that a wick fill is an absolute necessity for price to, rebalance itself and to create more healthy price action. What could invalidate it? Well, maybe some extremely bullish news here where people will think, oh, okay, it was just FUD, boom, we're gonna flip here, everything is gonna be fine. And that could just, completely change and mess everything up here. But again, that's just all part of the game here. So let's keep our risk management nice and tight until we have, a little bit more confirmation here. But again, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna look for entries in any way, shape or form. Absolutely not here. So Rune, yeah, I'm gonna wait for Rune to come down a little bit right now. It gave us a little bit more of a rejection here. You can already kind of see that we're starting to slow down, but of course this doesn't mean anything yet. You really need to start pushing further to break at least this low, to then continue up, to then get rejected, created information, and to then look for further continuation to the downside right now. Okay, Bitcoin is currently sitting at the 618, if I'm exact. Let me see if this is correct. Volume. Here we go. Let's do it precisely here. We're heading into the 618 right now. Okay. This is a level of resistance that we currently are facing. Holding up still quite strong though at this particular moment. So let's see how Bitcoin will react here. Okay. Rune is coming down slightly. Interesting level to look for scenarios like these here. If you go on the 30 minute, you know exactly what I mean here. One more time. This is the low, like I said before, right? The low that created the high. When you pull back to that low and you get rejected at that low, that's where your opportunity is coming to play here. Okay, so this is one layer. When you see zones like this that are more kind of a range, more of a bigger range overall, okay, then the volume profile is that level. Okay, so in this case the volume profile is kind of irrelevant. This is the low and this is the high, and there is just clear market structure. In this case the volume profile is what matters the most here. Okay, you see already Solana right now, guys, is at the value area high and is currently at this particular moment at least getting rejected here. Okay, that's no surprise. The 103.1425. Okay, one more time, the 103.1425. So what are we waiting for? Lower low here. Okay, internal structure. All right, so higher high, internally lower low. So higher high, create a new lower low. That's the confirmation we're looking for further continuation back towards the downside, with the value area low for Solana as our initial point of interest right here. So if that lower low does not occur, there is no need to rush into your positions for Solana to try to time and just guess if you're going to bounce or not. Just wait for that bounce first. And then you can wait for internal structure to be broken. Then based upon that, boom, we add our entries. We go for the liquidity that's built up. And we're going to target at least 50% of that wick we have been creating here. Okay, so keep a close eye on this one. At the same time, while Rune, of course, like here, we said just now here, is coming down. And while Bitcoin is right now at resistance, sitting at roughly the 618 Fibonacci right now, as well from this swing high, this swing low point. From that crash, from that range crash all the way to the bottom, pulling back towards premium areas here. This is where people also start taking profits. The people that are entering here might be taking out some profits right now, seeing that we're not flipping here. But again, I think it will only accelerate once we flip this candle bearish. Because if you flip this candle bearish, I think that most guys that are in think, okay, we might be pushing down. Out of fear, they just take their profits and get out of the markets. So that could also be another layer. Solana. Yeah, this is a perfect example, okay? This is what we've been waiting for. 103, 1425. Wait for a lower low. And then the opportunities come into play here. Okay? That's it. Tether dominance. Yeah, it's holding up here. Okay, it's still holding up in that zone. Let's mark this out as one big zone here that we're looking at. Okay. And yeah, let's see how we react out of this one right there. Solana is there now. Rune getting rejected here. Let's see what else we have. Matic not yet. AVEX not yet. Cardano not yet. Solana is the only one that came already into the value area low and where you got to see that rejection from here. Okay. A rejection of around 3% right now. Looking for entries after right here. Okay. Give me 2 minutes, guys. Or 1 minute. I quickly have to grab my air conditioning. Otherwise, my camera is going to go out here. It's too hot here in Bali, Indonesia at the moment. So I need to get my air conditioning. The room needs to be a bit colder. Let the markets cool off as well. Let's see a lower low. I'll be literally back in a couple of seconds here. Give me 1 moment. Speedy Gonzalez, that's it. That's all we needed to do. Some good momentum here. Okay, perfect. Now let's wait for price to push back down here. This could be actually really clean and nice opportunity here. So again, Solana is getting there. We have an alert set at 97.72. If we start flip this bearish, then you might be able, one more time, to look at what we're building here, okay? You're gonna see a breakdown as well, and you might be seeing a wick fill continuation right there. Wick fill confirmation right here in case we are coming down here, okay? There we go. Okay, let's see what else we have. Marco says VeChain. Nabosha says ICP. Let's look at the ICP, Nabosha, my man. Hope you're doing well, brother. Great to have you here. Let's look at the ICP. This is actually very interesting because we were so bullish. What has happened here? Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is just unbelievable. All right. This one just truly doesn't care. I would definitely not short this. That's for sure. Not this one. Based upon the following metrics, we're already above previous Resistance again, support on the daily. We flipped this candle bullish after taking out the previous daily low. We're flipping bullish here. Taking out the previous daily high and the previous weekly high as well here. So we're somewhat in the middle right now at this particular moment. But again, this is one of these projects that is just so strong regardless. And has been absolutely going parabolic here. So I'm going to be patient with this one right now. And we might be seeing some sort of continuation here. I don't know. Very, very crazy stuff here. What I will look for is, well, most likely you're going to see some sort of reaction soon. By the way, we have double confirmation here. So we have resistance at 14.737 and we have the trend line resistance as well here. That's definitely something to look at. And again, this is the crash. So you also have this area of supply supporting it as well here. So you have some serious resistance right now sitting around 14.737 and then around 14.9, somewhat in between that range right here. Okay. But again, ICP is holding up very, very good right now at the moment. Let's see what else we have here. So we'll keep a close eye on this one. I'm gonna actually add this one to the list here. I want to just see how this one goes. Not particularly a trade setup, okay? But right away. But at least I want to just see how we react at that resistance right there. Okay. People USDT wiped out my capital here. What is people? What about people? What is? I heard some people talking about it here. What happened here? Wow. Weekly resistance now. So we're back below like a crucial level, 3697. Major expansion, absolutely crazy. I don't know the details behind this, the fundamentals behind this specific project right now. However, we are literally sitting at crucial support now. We could come down and break down at any given moment here. Okay. Risk management is absolutely key, especially when knowing that the fundamentals are extremely high and the fact that we came up so aggressively, shorting was not really an option here, regardless, due to the fact that we were already so weak. And you see that clear, inverted head and shoulders pattern formation followed by that breakout and that swipe. So that was actually a fantastic entry on the daily, I think. Very aggressive move though. Very aggressive move. Okay, but yeah, we got rejected right now, right here. Cannot keep going forever, by the way. Okay, this is as you can see here, one reaction, one rejection. If you go here to the lower time frame, then immediately got sold off from there. Lower high, lower low. This looks like we might be pushing down a bit further. Okay. Leive, you were in a short or you were in a long position, just to clarify here. Regardless, my friend, take consideration. This is all part of your learning curve here in the markets. Stop losses, risk management is key. This will come over time. This will come over time. We are coming down. We are breaking down, by the way. Okay. Rune. There we go. We're creating our own formation. If you break the lows here, it gets very interesting. Very interesting. Solana, waiting for the push down here. So we're just going to stick with a couple of them today here, due to the fact that usually we make like a big list of setups. Around 5, 6, 7 setups here. For example, yesterday we had Dogecoin. We had Solana. That's 1, 2, 3. Bonk. We had Kaspa. We had Rose. And we had Ordi as well here, okay? Fatmatic were not triggered. TRB was not triggered. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pairs. Michael, thank you for the sub, my friend. Welcome to our new beautiful channel here. Much love, much support. Yeah, 10 pairs here. So we would love to have a couple more setups here. Solana is doing what we wanted it to do. Okay, look at the 4-hour. Look how we came beautifully in the value area low. And look how you get rejected. at this particular moment right now here. Okay, so the key level is truly at $97. That could lead into that, you know, continuation to the downside with much more conviction and a much better like risk management play here, because then we know where to put our stop loss. Okay, and we want to have our stop loss as tight as possible, because then our risk reward is better. And when our risk reward is better, then obviously we can start making, you know, more money. We can afford to lose a couple more trades in order to still win and be profitable in the long term, which is truly in the end what matters here. So Rune, lower low, wait for price to break here. Bitcoin again is now at that resistance here. Okay, we are seeing price pushing into it as well. Let's go to liquidation heat map real quick and let's see what we have here on the lower time frames. Yeah, we just took out these highs here. The liquidation that was built up there. You see right away here, 42.5, 42.2. Okay. And then, of course, the 45. The 45 has some significant liquidity built up, obviously, because that's directly correlated towards, you know, this range, that consolidation, expansion, retracement. If you come up, then you can still dump from there as well. Absolutely possible. But again, there could also be a reason for it to push price already further down when looking at what we're currently building here, and that we're just going for from liquidity to liquidity to liquidity, and just, you know, use it kind of as a magnet right here. Okay, so the 5-minute will tell us exactly what the confirmations will be. For now, keep a close eye on the majority key levels. That's it. Movie says link. Chainlink. So Chainlink, let's see how Chainlink reacted here due to this crash and how deep he actually came. It probably is not that. Let's see what it is. Let's see what Chainlink did here. That's the euro against the dollar. Chainlink. Okay. 25%. Pretty straightforward here. Again, Chainlink was, of course, in that weekly resistance. Okay. This was already a key level, so we would have never been able to take longs regardless. That's why we never added this one to our watch list that we then added here on our YouTube setups section from yesterday's stream. Because Chainlink was already in weekly resistance, and we don't want a long in weekly resistance. Okay, a lot of people tend to ignore the higher time frames, and therefore they enter, for example, their long positions right into weekly resistance, and that's always where you have to be a little bit more cautious here. So again, we created that triple top, and we're actually starting to come down a little bit. Yes, we're getting butt up here right from this initial local zone, which is still good. You know, if you look at it from that angle. But again, I do think that, you know, the confirmation will still remain the same. And that is just looking at this range, the 1 hour chart here, as clean as it gets, okay? You mark out the left to the right of that range. And you look at the point of control. The value area high is now where we are. You look at the point of control, okay? This is at 14.582. And this is where we're going to look for you know, a trade setup, okay? The reason why, just to clarify it simply for the people that are new here, the best thing to do is just to look at key levels and you wait for price to come to you, okay? The only thing that we have to do here is we set our key levels, we wait for price to come to our key levels, and then based upon that reaction, we will see if the internal structure can give us the confirmation we need. So for example, like we're seeing with Solana, we had our key level marked out, okay? And we said that what we want to see right now for Solana is you want to see price pulling back in either the value area low or the naked point of control right here. The value area low is right here at 103.1425. And you see right away that this next 4 hour candle that just opened here came up and flipped bearish right now, okay? So that was a key level. Now, then you go to the lower time frame and then you look at the last low that created the high. And in this case, you see that the last low that created the high was at 97.7289. So 97.7289. You come up to 103.1425. You get rejected the value area low. You wait for a breakdown. Now we can kind of assume that this high possesses enough, supply or enough selling pressure to break the internal structures, in this case, the low that created that high, that squeezed the highs, that took out that liquidity was built up here, that compression that we just experienced on the lower time frame. If you then break this level, we can flip bearish, wait for continuation or pullback, and then we target, of course, the wick here on the 30-minute, which is just a major wick fill that we could still looking at. So if that confirmation does not get there, we are also not interested in trading it, okay? So then, from that moment, the chance of gambling goes down. Why? Because you no longer have to guess that you get rejected there. That's number one, okay? And especially not in situations where the market is kind of like uncertain. You definitely don't want to do that. So that confirmation is a necessity. After that confirmation, sky's the limit. In this case, to the downside. All right, so people will come down most likely right now. Algo and STX. Yeah, Algo, what did we have there? Oh yeah, I remember. We had this, we had a setup right there in case price would push back up. Never got filled into our position. Would have been a major trade, by the way. Would have been a 21-to-1. If you risk $500, then you can count. That would be a 10K trade right there. Crazy stuff. Okay. So in this case, this is what we call the Titanic. Okay. Right to the bottom, 30% decrease. Major swipe of liquidity. Obviously, if you look at this low and look at this high right here, we came back to, once again, the golden zone, the 70.5, 79%. So if you are smart and if you are looking at the funding rates and you pay very close attention to the funding rates, okay, and you think, well, we might be extremely over leveraged right now. Maybe it's good to keep a close eye on the most important data, which is then the swing low, okay, to swing high, which was here to there. And you're gonna set some of these limit orders right here in a golden zone between 70.5 and 79%. And whatever happens, happens. If price never gets there, whatever. You just don't get filled, whatever. Next, okay? And what you can do is when, the swing points get higher and get changed, you just change it. You just move your limit order slightly up or down based upon how it's moving, okay? So based upon that, this is how you can make a significant amount of money only when you know that the funding rates are absolutely extremely high. So we're talking about, a minimum, and that's where we have to go to a minimum of, on Binance, Bitcoin, for example, minimum 0.05, 0.08 minimum, in case you want to look for that reaction right there, okay? But that's a great way of looking and sniping particular longs in cases of potential flash crash scenarios that occurred here yesterday here, okay? Very important. We talked about this. Go back to yesterday's stream. We talked about the fact that this could happen here. Now we're gonna do this one more time for the people that are new, that just tuned in real quick. Very important. Usually what tends to happen if we truly are over leveraged, we're gonna experience some sort of flash crash where you see suddenly a 10% dump, quickly getting bought up again, but at least resetting these funding rates. So that could happen, okay? Therefore, your risk management is absolutely... That's it. That could happen. So therefore, when that happens a day later, okay, then take in consideration that if that happens, that obviously, you want to have these limit orders. Set right here. But in this case, now it's just the time to start looking for that further continuation, and the only thing that you're looking for is a key level followed by a rejection, a lower low, lower high, entry, stop loss above the previous high. That's it. Now, no confirmation yet. Okay, so we're looking and we're still waiting patiently for price to push us into that region. All right. The crypto news is Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. Let's do some meme coins indeed as well. I think the meme coin narrative was actually popping completely. So right now, looking at Dogecoin right here, we talked about Doge yesterday. We were in a winning Dogecoin trade up at least a 4R. Eventually, we took some profits already on that trade before we started coming down, and we managed our risk accordingly. So that's all good. Okay, but Dogecoin right now, after that, created obviously a massive expansion, a massive squeeze. This is actually quite interesting. So Dogecoin is actually not looking that strong whatsoever right now. Absolutely not. So simple, swing high to swing low. Rejection came back towards the 618. We bounced back to the 50%. We're now ranging. So in this case, you want to create first a higher high, followed by a lower low, entry, wick fill as a target. So you don't want to like look for setups right now. The reason why is very simple. You are compressing. So this one is compressing, whereas for example, a couple other ones, Link for example, is already pushing up quite strong. Dogecoin is simply just ranging right here and is creating that compression. And we're going to break out of that compression soon. And we're not here to guess right now which direction it's going to go, because it can go this, it can go this way. What we're waiting for is at least a breakout followed by some sort of internal flip. And that's our entry for further continuation. At least our targets are clear. And that is of course all that that matters right now. Okay. So we have around 64 likes here. Let's smash up that like button here. Let's get it to 70 likes. I would highly appreciate that. We are a new channel, fresh channel. We are going live on a day-to-day basis, making sure that we look every day at the markets right here. We also create our watch list of setups that are actually occurring, and we're tracking what has happened the next day. So then we, fill it in the YouTube setup section. Okay. We fill in our trades, and then the next stream we go over it and we look for new trades once again. So if you join tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST, we're going to do the same thing, and we might have more information to see how these trades today played out. And then, of course, tomorrow we'll go right into new setups and then repeat the process over and over and over again. Okay, so another reason to get into our Discord right here and to see what the status is of the setups that I'm sharing here on a day-to-day basis. Okay, very, very important. So while we're waiting here, Solana is... we will get an alert. We will get an alert. I do think that this is looking quite nice here, to be honest. If you go to the Tether dominance one more time, I think that we're trying to hold on. We're not looking that strong though either. But again, we are gonna pay very close attention here. We might be pushing up still a little bit more based upon what we're currently seeing here. Okay, confirmation is what we're waiting for. So AGI and SEI. Okay, let's look at both of them. We need a couple more. I'll not be streaming already. All right, easy. AGI. Let's do, let's look at the AGI right here. Okay. Swing high, swing low. Bigger range, rejection point right here. Okay, we knew this on the daily. So 4 hour created that consolidation, that expansion. This internal range was a very, very interesting. So for example, you have this range, this internal range, I could better say. You created already this exact. So let me show what I mean here. And this is going to lead into a trade setup later on. So this is a range that tapped into that high. You ranged, okay? You came back towards this range right here, and you started to come towards, this is where you eventually start breaking it. This is where we fill in the information. Where we go? There we go. Wait for it to react here. Phil Sinclair, my man. Thank you for the sub here. Great to have you here, my friend. It's an absolute pleasure to host you today. As always, hope to see you tomorrow. where we're going to over and calculate all the steps that we have discussed today and then tomorrow. And then, yeah, let's make some money, man. Let's do that. Okay. What happened here? I see. Give me one moment. There we go. I think it's working now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, beautiful. Okay, had some issues here. Okay, there we go. So what we were looking for right now, right here is the following. So we came down towards this range. Okay, so what we are seeing right now here is that the point of control was a rejection point of AJAX. So for example, you could see here that you consolidated. And we expanded right here, okay? And we pulled back and we continued down. We started to build that liquidity up here to then come back to the point of control. This is where it got rejected. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, so now we want to do exactly the same thing. But instead of looking at a local range, we're going to take this full-on area of consolidation that we have created beforehand. And we're going to see what these key levels of this whole range are. Based upon that right now, we will have much more information and see, what we can do here. You can already see that the first level I'm looking at is 30 cents. That's, of course, a logical, psychological number as well, which is automatically also this area of support. So this could turn into resistance, okay? 30 cents right there. So that's one layer. The other layer is, of course, the 31.295, which is right there after that reaction. So these are the two key levels we just talked about. We're looking for key levels first. Based upon the key levels, we're going to go to lower time frame. We're going to wait for a reaction. First, after that reaction, we have done our job. We are going to wait for internal breaks for further continuation. An invalidation could mean, like we said here with Solana, for example, one more time. If you just are tuning in right now, the invalidation means you come above the point of control and you flip that into support. That could lead into a reversal. That could lead into a momentum shift and therefore continue back up to the highs, which was at around $127. Until then, no need to start pushing us into longs here, trying to pick the bottom. So far, the structure is still bearish, and based upon that, we could see what's going on. Look at how beautifully we're getting rejected right now on Solana, by the way. The value area low, okay? The magic touch, we call it in our academy. The value area low, 103.1425. Now a lower low, then a lower high, then our entry right there. Okay. The magic touch, right? Value area low, point of control. One of our favorite tools right here. So now show us truly that you're serious about continuing the process down here. That's what we want to see for Solana, because if that's the case, Solana has an amazing opportunity for you. Absolute amazing opportunity. When coming back towards this low, breaking below, and then looking, of course, for a lower high that leads into, obviously, a wick fill. Okay. Fantastic. Internal breaks is what matters right now. Now, chain link right now is 40.582, same level. AGI, what we just discussed, 30.045. That's it. Fantastic. Okay, two levels to look at, 31.295 and 30.005. I'm gonna just simply set an alert first at the value area low for you, Olive, and then we're gonna talk about it later. Alert is set. Okay, if I'm correct. Yes, there we go. Fantastic. Okay, ADA, Matic, Solana, AVX, ICP. We missed something. Link. We're gonna add Link to the watch list. Rune. Rune is still pushing. Rune is still pushing, so nothing for now. Nothing for Rune. No confirmation for Rune. We had another one here. Bitcoin. Rejection, okay. 43.565 here. The 618 rejection. Very interesting. Look at what we have below still. Build, and especially The Tether dominance is super important right now to keep a very close eye on here. There we go. We're starting to push up right now. This is bullish for the Tether dominance, ladies and gentlemen. This is bullish for the Tether dominance. This is not good for the cryptocurrency market right now. Okay, there we go. Bounced, bounced, bounced. We flipped the 4-hour candle bullish. We created a bottom wick and we now are flipping bullish. This is not a good sign for the cryptocurrency market right here, right now. So Solana, very interesting if you break the lows here. Could lead into a really nice trade. This is just a matter of time. You will see in a second here why we have to look at the Bitcoin dominance right now. Because if the Bitcoin dominance is coming up, while of course the Tether dominance is coming up, altcoins are getting wrecked. Altcoins are getting destroyed here. The Bitcoin dominance so far is still not looking strong, not looking weak. It's quite neutral at this particular moment, okay? So if you truly want to look for shorts for altcoins, you want to have everything in your favor to just get the highest probability. But the only way to do that is by waiting for the Bitcoin dominance to come back towards this low that created this high, is the 52.3%. Then the Tether dominance continues the momentum to the upside, like we just discussed right here, right now. We flip that 4-hour candle bullish like we just have done, and we continue to go up. And then, of course, Bitcoin will come down, but altcoins will then come down, much faster. And if you then look at Solana, the 97.6328, we break the lows. You guess where my point we're going to. We most likely are going to come down here and continue down. Okay, so couple more. Matic right now is still not there. Okay, Cardano is still not there. However, for Cardano, I'm going to give you another trade opportunity. Okay, and this is a little bit of a different approach in case we are already coming down and the Tether dominance is already coming up. Okay, because if people are starting to buy Tether, people are starting to sell their cryptocurrencies right here. Okay, that means we flip this candle at some point. And if you flip this candle, then why not just going for a trade here? A stop loss above the highs and a target of at least 50%, okay, of that particular wick. So we call this the 50% wick fill formation. And after that has been completed, you start coming down, and then you can just close in the majority of your trades, and then you can take the rest down towards the 70.5. Not the best, risk to reward. I'd usually want to look for higher confirmations, but if you want to have like a safer entry type of situation, then these are the entries to look for, okay? Especially when this candle has no bottom wick. And if you flip that one bearish, then you now have a very strong top wick pushing price down, going from green to red. That usually results into further continuation here, okay? So at this case, a little bit low risk reward, but it's still potentially a higher probability setup if you start flipping it. So that's up to you to make a decision. Another layer you can wait for is what we do, and that's just simply wait for a lower low, lower high, and then an entry on the lower time frame. Increase your risk to reward tremendously, but then you have to, you can also risk less on your trade, for example. Okay, so that's just an example to look at right here. So I highly recommend to set an alert also at the 54.641, because that's where you will flip that 3-hour candle bearish. And if that's the case, you know exactly what I mean here. Look at the Tether dominance shooting up. That means Bitcoin is coming down. There we go. Bitcoin is indeed pushing down right now. Okay. Solana is still there. We will get an alert in no time, but we are getting there. We're getting there. We're coming down slowly but steadily here. Keep a close eye on that breakdown here. Okay. Let's see what else we have. We have a couple more setups to go over with. I think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 2 more. And that could be interesting. Bart Simpson says H bar. H bar right here. There we go. Okay, yeah, okay. No, I thought we came back all the way down to the to that weekly level, but no, we did not. Okay, we did, however, tapped into to a really nice daily zone. Yeah, this is clean. This is as clean as it gets. So this is just a nice area of consolidation, an expansion. You look for the retracement and you look for the continuation down. This is a nice consolidation. This is a lower low, very important, including body closures as well. So if you then look internally, We got rejected at the 70.5. You go to the lower time frame. Some people are already interested in looking for shorts around here. Again, what I personally believe is the same thing as we saw with Dogecoin here is you start compressing and you start just creating something and then you start to kind of break out. So then the real move comes. So I'm rather waiting for an opportunity roughly around there when the breakout comes to then look for shorts. I think that's a much more interesting approach rather than looking for to guess right now a short position right here, trying to enter first of all, where I'm going to put my stop loss. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to put my stop loss here. I'm not going to put my stop loss here because you could easily break out. And the target is roughly here. So the risk reward doesn't make any sense in that manner. I'd rather wait for price to push up, then flip bearish, and then look for continuation and leverage and utilize this specific range that we have right there. That's an example, a key example. Okay, so again, you see how powerful the value area low can be in a range. This is what I mean, and this is what we're now doing on a lot of other pairs, and what we're looking for specifically to come back towards these type of levels here, like Solana already did in the very short term. Where you see it, we pushed up the value area low, this range. Okay, the volume profile, you can use it as well. You type in this here. I have these settings for you as well in case you want to know what my settings are. These are the following settings. So the row size is 128. Okay, it measures all these levels right here, level by level by level. As you can see, 128 rows, and the value area volume is the highlighted volume within the area where the significant amount of volume has been traded. So for example, where the volume increases significantly, they pull it back, squeeze it into a range, and that's the value area low, the point of control, and the value area high, the top. So these are like the hidden, what we call the hidden horizontal levels. And volume is key. So utilizing volume as a horizontal level or support or resist level is usually very beneficial. So you see that Solana so far came down, got rejected. And right now, waiting for that lower low. Then we can start thinking about trades. Okay, so H bar, I'm gonna add it to the list. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait for that to actually occur. Nothing else. Breakout, rejection, back towards the, yeah, you could say very low, but we could also say 94 cents. Somewhat there, somewhat around that level, but in general, if you create a lower low, so you start creating a higher high and then a lower low. So for example, you come up, you break out to the upside, we start breaking up, we come to the 94 roughly around there, and you start creating a lower low and a lower low, lower high. Then that's the moment to start thinking about, hey, I might enter my position here and target the lows. Okay, that could be absolutely fantastic. Gavin then says, join us free in Limitless Discord to follow the setups from the stream. Okay, very important. Every single day we update you for the setups here. Win or lose, we're not going to win every single trade. Okay, but we have been profitable for a long period of time already. So it's all about the long-term plays here. Okay, and the way we manage the risk, obviously, as well. But that comes with time if you are new here. Okay. Link 14.582. I think I want to do one more, and that's it for now here. Let's see what we have. One more chart, guys. Let me see what you guys want to see. Let's see what we have. Bartson says my entry will be at 94.28. That's perfect. That's indeed around the value area. A little bit lower, the value area low. That's, yeah, exactly that level. The previous low. Yeah, makes sense. Martina says S-E-Y. Oh yeah, we were supposed to review this one. Okay. Fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. 300% over the last three weeks. quick pullback, and immediate recovery and a higher high. Yeah, this is not a short. This is just not a short. That's just there's no way. Okay, large caps, yes, definitely looking much weaker. This one is absolutely pushing us up significantly. So yeah, what can I say? In case, and this is maybe a good thing, in case we start flipping bearish again, or Bitcoin, whatever, for magic reason, you know, it starts to come up significantly, then this one is going to absolutely explode. You can already see it right now. Okay, so a pullback towards the 76.950 is the perfect entry. You will literally turn previous resistance into support here, which is also a daily level. Okay, we already squeezed out the longs here. If you kind of hold here and you create like an internal break of structure, so one more time, you go to the 15-minute. Okay, you're already actually in it right now in the lower time frame. So you come back to, let's say, this zone. Okay. It's the only bullish scenario I see so far here, which is this one right here, pushing down towards the 78.5. Then that's a long entry back to the highs. And then you start, don't put your stop loss right below here, because you can get wicked out. You want to put your stop loss right here at 74.5. Yeah. Is it too late to invest in crypto? Well, I'll let this up to you to decide, to be honest here. If you go to CoinMarketCap right now, the total market cap has been coming down a little bit, 5%, back towards this $1.65 trillion. Now let's look at the Apple market cap here, okay? 2.86 trillion. Okay, almost 50% of the whole cryptocurrency market here, or like double. Microsoft, 2.76 trillion dollars. Okay, now think about a BlackRock spot ETF. That would mean that now investors, institutions, you name it, can now add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Okay, just buying it as a stock rather than having to buy it on a cryptocurrency exchange, but still owning it as spot. Then you suddenly get access to trillions and trillions of dollars in the markets right here. Now combine that with programmable scarcity. Okay, programmable scarcity like gold. Gold is scarce, but it's not programmable. We know exactly how many Bitcoin there actually are. The supply is getting less and less. That's the way it's programmed this way. Combine more money flowing into the market, more access to more money, and programmable scarcity, and FUD, geopolitical situations, and the elections, money printing, you name it. I'll let you to decide here if you're too late to buy right now. Okay, from a technical standpoint, obviously, you know, you can always wait a little bit further to come down a little bit more, in my opinion, right now at the moment, before you start stacking and adding onto your position. That's from a technical standpoint, my recommendation right now. You know, rather than buying here right now in, of course, still roughly around, you know, the weekly resistance of $44,000, roughly, right? I don't want to buy in weekly resistance. I'd rather buy above because then my money compounds faster. I can sell, take some profits, put it into something else, and keep compounding things rather than sitting and waiting diamond hands for forever when nothing is happening. Okay, I'm going to leave it by that here, guys. So far, we have done a bunch of charts here. Hope you guys understand what we're doing here. Whenever a crash occurs, do not get worried too much. This is another way in the cryptocurrency market. It's all part of the game, all part of the journey. FUD is there. Jim Craner, our negative correlation legend. He is the most bearish indicator you could ever wish for. If he's bullish, he has a 90% success rate in doing that. So, again, don't get fooled out here. It was clearly significant amount of funding rates that were just over leveraged. It was $1 billion to take out, at least in the markets here. So why not taking it out if it's that easy to do so at some point, and then have an excuse of why? You can always say that whatever, the SEC most likely will get rejected, like whatever, man. We're gonna see how it goes. We manage the risk accordingly, and like we said here, as long as we do that, nothing is gonna happen. All the setups from yesterday were in profit, fantastic. Now we resulted in some of them just going to break even with having to take some profits out of the markets. Okay, that's it. We're gonna be back tomorrow. Keep you guys updated here, And of course, in case something happens with some of these setups, that's why I have created this channel, the YouTube setup section, where we can directly update you for everything that's currently happening right here. Make sure you smash up that like button, you subscribe, you hit the notification bell, and most importantly, you get into our crypto VIP. Because you need two things. You need the right community, the right place to trade. Like I said before, I personally trade on Bitget. So if you're interested in joining a good exchange that has no FUD, has the biggest financial reserve next to Binance, okay, and is massively expanding, then click on the link here, sign up, get your $8,000 deposit bonus, utilize your UID, and with the UID, fill it in right here and get VIP access. And then make sure that you get access to our Signal channel, which is provided by Tim, and our cryptocurrency course that I created here, which is worth over $500, which is a 3-hour series where I explain exactly what I'm doing all day on stream, but then more in depth for you to understand exactly how you can apply this as well. Understanding data is key. That's what we're doing here. To put it all together, you have a new, welcome, amazing, fantastic community to join the Limitless Trading Academy. Thank you very much, guys. Good luck on your trading journey. So far, wait for that confirmation. That confirmation will come at some point. We're going to keep you updated. Don't get fooled. That's how they do it. We're going to make some money in this place right there. See you tomorrow. And if you're here, let me tell you I'm a committed here. Come tomorrow back at 10 a.m. EST. And then everything is going to be fun. As always, let's see how it goes. Okay? Peace out, fam. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.